stuff.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
well
good.
we
I'm
live
ready.
now. Okay. Well, we'll give him a few seconds to come on. So
Okay, so I figured out how to share my live so people could, see.
yeah, and then you can always go to my Facebook page and then share it too.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
learning
because it'd
stuff.
be on my Facebook page and my podcast page. But
Okay,
but yeah, man. How you doing today? You don't went and got
I'm,
jazzed up and
I'm good. I
everything.
shouldn't get look. I ain't come out looking crazy. Thank you. I'm good. I got my little notes. I got my little stuff right here. I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, well, we'll
Okay.
let you lead the way, and then I'll follow your lead. Now, don't look like
What?
that. You can handle it. You ask a question, and what I mean, we'll turn it into a conversation. So it
We
ain't
just
nothing.
gonna talk about the. Man, this thing messing me up.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It don't matter.
Okay. So
So
you doing the introduction, all that stuff, right?
yeah. Well, we got some people now, so. Well, first of all, I want to welcome y'all back to the Papa Black Podcast. And today we have the very lovely Miss Serina Jackson.
Hi.
And y'all see her last week coming in, chiming in, and now she has a topic that she wants to start off talking about, and it's does your parents influence, well, not having a parent or having your parents influence you when it comes to dating?
Mm-hmm.
So you go ahead. We'll follow your lead today.
Okay, so I'm a little nervous, guys, and but I'm gonna do the best that I can. First of all, I want to say I'm not a therapist. I don't have any letters behind my name. This is just my point of view and the point of view of some other women and men that I've talked to, um, and some come to Jesus moments I've had throughout my life when it's come to dating.
Right.
And figuring out why I was making the same mistakes and dating certain guys and allow myself to be put in situations I know I should not have
Right. And I think a lot of people have been dating the wrong people,
been.
and I feel like they get comfortable and they stay a little too long, then
Yeah,
they end up mad or miserable.
yeah.
And then if y'all want to join the conversation, just send me an email and I'll send
Please
you the link.
do.
So yeah.
Please do join in. You have all the questions you have. You have anything to chime in on. You have things that affect you on this subject matter. Just let us know.
Right.
Okay. So where are we gonna start?
It's up to
Um,
you.
I'm going to start with me, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to try to, sometimes I can get a little bit off track. I'm trying to stay on track and stay on topic,
All
okay?
right.
So for me, I noticed when I got into my mid 30s that there was a disconnect as to how I was interacting, not interacting. I'm a little nervous. I noticed
Right.
there was a disconnect of how I was handling my relationships as far as how I was getting to the relationships, what I was tolerating in the relationships, how I was feeling, and I didn't understand why those things were coming into play. So the more I dug into dug into myself, I started to realize that it had a lot to do with my parents not being around, especially my dad, to teach me some of the things that most dads would teach a woman about men and life and things that you might encounter to how to help you navigate through those things. He wasn't there, um, and I remember thinking. I was thinking about writing a book one time, and I said, "Okay, what am I going to write this book about?" And I'm still thinking about writing a book. I was like, what am I going to write this book about? And I remember being in third or fourth grade. We living in Decatur off of Capri Drive. I was going to Leslie J. Steele Elementary. And I remember being waiting for my dad to come pick me up. And this happened several times. I would page him because I didn't have a phone number. I only had a pager number. And the pager number was always stuck to my grandmother's mirror because my grandparents raised me. And I would page him. He said, okay, I'm going to come pick you up so I can take you shopping or do whatever. And I remember we had a front porch. I would sit on the step by the front door and I would just sit there and wait and wait and wait. And I would get up and look up and down the street, like, okay, I'm waiting, I hear cars coming, you look and saying, okay, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? And I didn't realize later on how much, not just that, but that was the beginning of how it would affect me when it comes to how I feel about myself, um, as far as how I felt like, why wasn't I good enough for my dad to be in my life? But he had two other kids that he was with their mom, and he was there raising, taking care of them. Yeah. So that's what I started to internalize. And I remember just sitting on it, and this happened several times, waiting for him to come, and he didn't come. And the times that he did come, the interaction was okay, but it wasn't the best interaction. It wasn't like a father daughter, I'm so glad to see you type of thing. It was more like, what are you doing? You could be doing that a lot better. Why are you doing it that way? When we're going shopping to get things for me for school, my dad was a very well dressed man. He always drove a nice car, always made great money. But when you take me shopping, you want to take me to get me like the Zales and Rich Way stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
saying I had a problem with that, but my grandparents understood because they were raising four kids, but my dad, no, you had the money and the means to do that. So that was another layer of made to for me start to feeling that I wasn't enough or good enough. That too.
Right.
So we get into later on in life, myself was in my mid-30s. I would just sit on the sofa and I say, you know what? I said, you're that same little girl sitting on that step waiting for your dad to come. And I didn't realize that. Like, you're waiting for your dad to come and he's not coming. He's not coming. Not the way that you want him to come. He's not coming. And I remember thinking, I'm dating people and I'm looking for something in those people that I wanted from my dad that I wasn't getting from my dad. Like, I would date men that might be emotionally unavailable, men that didn't treat me as well as I should have been treated, or didn't talk to me or give me the level of respect that I know I should have had. I've tolerated situations in relationships that I know I shouldn't have. It was just me still wanting to be loved and cared for, and still wanting that love that I felt like I hadn't got from my dad. So as I got older, I started dating people that I shouldn't have dated. And I also didn't have that confidence that I should have had in myself. Like, I can dress up and look nice and get my hair done, but in the inside, I didn't feel like pretty. I didn't feel like I was doing enough, or what I was doing in my mind, it wasn't enough because I felt like I still needed to prove something because I didn't get. Who is that whistling?
No, that's one of my phones.
Oh,
I cut the volume down. I got it on vibrate, but I guess it's still I guess I should have put it on
I'm
do not
like,
disturb or
is
something.
somebody else there?
Somebody
I'm
might
sorry.
like you. They might be hollering at you.
Oh Lord. So I'm sorry. So yeah, just not feeling good enough, not feeling like I was accepted. Even in high school, I remember being in high school. Like, I was cool with everybody. I didn't have an issue with
Right.
anybody. I wasn't the popular person, but I wasn't not popular. But I still
Right.
never could find my fit. You know what I'm saying? I would blend in because I know how to be sociable, and I'm very good at articulating, having a conversation. And, I'm funny. I think I'm funny.
Yeah, you're hilarious.
But,
You're
but I just
hilarious.
never, you're funny. Well, thank you. I just never felt like I fit in. And that was still part of me not having that self-esteem that I I felt like I should have had. But it wasn't just my dad, it was my mom too. My mom and dad, my mom, she tried. My mom tried, but she had her own personal issues, and I didn't come to understand her own personal issues until she became an adult, and I saw the things that she was struggling with. And once I got to talk to her and some other family members, I realized that she had some stuff that she dealt with that hadn't been resolved, and it carried over to her adulthood. So she couldn't really be the mom that she really needed to be for us. And thank God for my grandparents because they raised us. I mean, we didn't go without anything. They moved us in a neighborhood. They put us in a good school. They took care of us. We weren't mistreated or we were taken care of, and I thank God for that. But it's still nothing like having your mom and your dad there. And even with my dad, him not being around, I can understand because once I got to meet his mom, my grandmother, she told me about why he might be somewhat like he is, because he was she had 5 kids. But for some reason, she took the other 4 kids back to Jersey to live with her, but she left him here with the uncle and aunt. Now, the uncle and aunt in turn were just like my grandmother and grandfather. They took really good care of him. But still, you got to remember, now you feel like, why was I not good enough to go home with you and the rest of the kids? So now we got this trickle down generational thing.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't understand that for a long time. So once I start understanding that about my mom and dad, I can kind of understand why they really couldn't be there like they could have been. But the same thing, but then I look at it like this: if my dad wasn't there for me, but I was the stand up, show up parent for my kids, then he could have did the same thing for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how I look at him. Like, you could have been a better father. And the times that you were, I did allow you to come into my life when I became older to be a better dad to me. You fucked that up too. Like, it was one time, and I'm very transparent. It is what it is.
Right.
One time when I graduated from high school, and he didn't come to my graduation, and I didn't understand why. So about maybe a week later, he showed up to my mom's house, and he brought me like this funky little cheap watch and a little camera. And my mom's like, "What is this?" Like, she's like, "Well, why couldn't you come to her graduation?" This man said, "Because I had a previous engagement."
Oh no.
Now you add another layer of like, really? Yeah.
Right.
He said he had a previous engagement. And I was like, okay. I moved on from that. Didn't talk to him and see him for a while. Later on, I think by the time I was in the 12th grade, I started dating, and I was dating this guy. I was at his house, and my dad showed up. I'm like, and I hadn't seen my dad in a while. I'm like, how you get over here? Like, why are you here? He said, well, your grandmother called me and said you over here. I came to pick you up, take you home. I was like, but all the other times I needed you to be around, you didn't come. Like, but now you want to pick me up, right?
Right.
So I wasn't going to leave with him. But the guy was saying, he's like, you know what? Just go ahead, go home with him, whatever. So I get in the car, he's talking. I'm like, really, you don't have much to say to me. I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to let you know, like, really, there's nothing for us to really talk about, because in the interim, you weren't there for me. And now you just pop up out of the blue saying you're going to take me home. And I say, I'm not trying to hear you right now. He says, I'm going to pull. He said, well, I'll pull the car on the side of the highway, and I'll whip you behind. I said, do it. You go from not being right. You go from not being a dad. You're going to whip me on the highway. I'm 18. I was like, okay, let's do that. But that didn't happen. He took me back to my grandparents' house. He didn't see him for a little while. Didn't see him for a while. So these are just the little nuggets that he keeps depositing. And then I'm like, I'll keep you away, but then I'll let you come back in. But you keep depositing these little nuggets, and you're just making it worse, So we fast forward a few years later. I saw him again. Where did I see him? I think after I had my kid. No. I was before my children. I was looking for a car. So he took me to look for a car. And we get to the place, it's the auction. And he decides we're there. I'm looking for a car. So I'm looking at cars. He goes off to the other side. I think he's just looking. So he goes off and bids on this car. He's like, well, I found the car. I bid on it. I said, what is, like, I don't know nothing about this car. Here was an Audi.
Was he buying the car?
Hold on. It was an Audi. So I get over there. It was a black Audi. He's like, well, it's $1,800. He's like, I pay half and you pay half. I'm like, you didn't even give me a car for graduation. You got me a funky ass camera. Like, I can't get a car. So get the car. I paid $9. He paid $9. Get the car. Drove the car 3 days. It stopped working. I called him. He's like, well, what am I gonna do? Nigga, you got this car. Like,
what? Oh my God.
So I was like, I need a break from you. So luckily, somebody hit the car while I was parked and it totaled it. God is good. And I got another one. So I saw my dad again later on. It was before I had my oldest daughter. his wife decided she was gonna have a barbecue, and she said, "Come over." And at this time, I had a younger sister. His second wife and had a daughter together. I came over, and I finally met my sister and brother from his first marriage. I'm 18 years old. They went to Columbia High School. Never knew them until I was 19, 20. Never knew them. They lived off of Candler Road on the Decatur end, and I lived on Capri. Never knew them. So finally, and the only reason that we got to meet because his wife, like, she was like, you know what, she needs to meet her sister and brother. You don't want her to be out here in the streets and meet her brother. So and start dating. Like, they need to know each other, right? So I finally got to meet my brother and sister. And mind you, this is the brother and sister that he raised with his first wife. So I'm a little envious because I'm like, they got to have their dad and mom. Like, I didn't really have that. But once I got to meet them, wonderful sister and brother, oh, I love them dearly. They were like, it ain't what you thought it was. Like, and being in the household with him was not it. It's like you dodged a bullet.
Right.
Because it wasn't it. And I'm not gonna tell all his stuff, but it wasn't it.
Right.
Yeah. They grew up in a lot of stuff going on. So I was kind of in and out with him, just hanging out, spending time with him, getting to know him a little bit. And then we get another bump in the road when I think in 2000, my twins were, it was 99. I had my twins. I had 4 kids by then. And his wife said, I'm going to babysit. She asked me, she said, can you babysit my little sister who was 2 years older than my daughter? And she said, then the following night, I'll babysit for you. I said, okay, cool. I picked my sister up, kept her, brought her back, everybody back that Saturday, dropped everybody off that Saturday. That Sunday morning, I was coming to get my kids, and she had to go to work. She worked at the post office. He didn't know anything about it because my dad had been out drinking all night and he was out gambling. So he had just come home when I got there about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So as I'm pulling in, she's pulling out. I go in the house. I'm looking up the stairs. My dad was up here. And I'm like, getting the kids to come on down. And he says to me, well, Cheryl had to go to work. Why would you leave your kids here and knowing she had to go to work? I said, well, you don't really know what's going on. And I didn't tell him that I kept my sister because that's something she hadn't disclosed to him. So I guess she didn't want him to know. I said, well, you really don't know what's going on. I said, I'm just here to get my kids. And I said, I'm going to leave. He said, well, this your second time leaving these kids over here, not coming again. I said, y'all never kept my kids before I keep my own kids. Like, what are you talking about? But I knew he had been drinking, and he just kept going on. I said, listen, I'm just going to get my kids. I'm going to go because you don't have any clue about what's going on. And I said, I'm not about to have this conversation with you. He said, well, I know about you. I said, you don't know anything about me. What do you know about me? Guess what this man said to me?
What's that?
This man called me a tramp.
What?
I stood there and I was like, when I say I was hurt because number one, you never known me to be that type of woman. You don't, as far as what you know about me, but for you to go all the way there to say that about me, because you don't even know what's going on. I got my kids because I wasn't going to say what I really wanted to say to him because I didn't want to be that mom in front of my kids. Got my kids left. I didn't see my dad for 2.5 years after that. And the only reason I saw him because his wife called me and she's like, well, y'all need to work it out. I said, no, we don't need to work anything. I said, he needs to work it out. And I said, sure. And this is what I felt. Well, I'm not gonna say that because somebody might be watching. For me, I felt like if you knew how that situation came to be, you should have had my back, meaning her. You should have had my back. Don't come to me 2 years saying y'all need to work it out when you know it wasn't y'all. It was
right.
So I didn't talk to my dad for like 2.5 years. I think I finally started talking to him again, and he was okay, but I wasn't like trying to get all up in his space, like that. Because I didn't know when the bullshit was gonna come. Right. So in the interim, I'm dating, and I had my oldest kid's father, my youngest 3 kids' father. He we started dating. I had kids with him. He bought me a house out in Ellenwood, bought me a car. He was just a good provider and a good dude. He was a good dude. But me, I'm just being real with you. Me not really knowing or not feeling like I was deserving of all that I was receiving, and seeing all these jacked up relationships from my mom, my dad, my grandparents stuff was kind of, just not really knowing what it is to be or know what a healthy relationship is. I appreciated him, but I don't think I appreciate him as much as I should have.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's like, and I'm not making an excuse for my behavior. I'm just saying I didn't not mistreat him or treat him bad. I'm just saying I didn't appreciate him as much as I should have. Because you talking about a man that went from being a single man, living with his roommate, doing his own thing, to selling his old school Cutlass, making sure he bought me a car, make sure he had a car, getting us an apartment, paying the rent. And I didn't, because I was sick in my pregnancy. I had to stay home, and he took care of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. And I'm just being real, but I didn't
Right.
appreciate him as much as I should have appreciated him. And I looked back at that too, thinking that I just my views on relationships, which is not, it was just fucked up. I'm just being real, it was just fucked up.
Right.
Because of what I've seen and what I thought was normal, but it really wasn't normal. And also too, like, we internalizing all the hurt from my dad and the stuff that he's deposited, and then my mom not being there as well. So we were together for a while. We broke up, but we didn't break up because of me not appreciating, because I did begin to appreciate. We broke up for other reasons, so we'll move on from that. But he was a good dude. After him, I dated some people that just not good people. Not good people. And it just deposited more of that hurt that I was getting from my dad, because I'm dating people I didn't understand. So finally, I'm like, okay, so you got to figure this thing out. What's the problem? The problem is you're not having a healthy relationship because you don't know what it is to have a healthy relationship. You don't know what it is to be in one. You haven't been in one. So let's just figure this thing out. So when I was just thinking, I was like, I'm sorry, I was going back to early when I said, I was like, so you're not still that same 8-year-old girl sitting on that porch waiting for your dad to come. Like, you got to get up. You got to get yourself together. You got to figure out what is going on. Why are you dating these people? Why you feel the way or not feel the way you should about yourself, and get yourself together. And I was like, what, Serina, daddy isn't coming. So you're going to have to figure it out. You're just going to have to figure it out. And what helped me figure it out was therapy. I had to talk to somebody.
Right.
Because I didn't know how to process it or maneuver through it. I had to talk to somebody, and this was the best thing I could have ever done.
Right.
Not saying I didn't continue to make some mistakes, but I had a better understanding, and I knew how to maneuver better through it.
Right.
I knew how to maneuver better through it. So
and it's a process. It's a process.
But but that's the thing. Like, sometimes we don't realize that we are in a really bad place, and we can't figure out why. And then too, like I said before, we blame our parents, but then you got to know the backstory with your parents too, what they dealt with or what they're dealing with. Not excusing them, but just to give yourself a better understanding of who they are, and that because some of my parents been through some messed up stuff.
Right.
Some of my parents been through some messed up stuff. But it still don't give us the right not to show up as parents for our kids.
Right. I mean, like for me, like, I'm not excusing your father, but a lot of times we get caught up in the relationship, and the kids are the one to suffer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if they didn't have a decent relationship or they didn't stay together, the child that's born within that relationship, they usually suffer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in my situation, like, my dad was a great provider, but my mama was more the rebel. She was real strong, but we never got a lot of "I love you." You know what I mean? Exactly. I knew they loved me because my mama always taught me that, boy, if I chastise you, that's because I care.
That's how.
If I didn't care, I'd let you go out here and bump your head and run wild and do everything. And
if I beat you, I love you.
Right. And so I understood that. But at the same time, when it came to me and my kids, me and their mother never really had a relationship.
Mhm.
But I also made it my business to always be there for them.
Right.
But then when their mother passed away at 15, I never took into account that I never really had a female around them. Never thinking about that they might need that female influence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're I felt like they got their grandmama and they got me because I was always there.
You're right.
So I felt like, you know what I mean? And I wasn't the typical baby daddy. Like I didn't take my kids over my mama house for the weekend and then I come back and get them Sunday and then take them home. No, what I do, I take my kids by my mama house, go pick up my weed, take my weed home, go spend time with my mama and the kids. But that was the only time that we really spent time with my mama.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And my mom used to get on me all the time, like, boy, you think your kids better than everybody? And I was like, no, but when I go get them, I go get them for me.
Right.
If you want me to go get them for you, just tell me. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem going to get them, but when I go get them, I go get them for me. And I did everything for my children, everything except comb their hair.
Mm-hmm.
I never cared about learning how to comb hair, but everything else, the changing the pampers,
That's
the end of the
part
bath, but that's the one thing that I never really want to learn how to do because I felt like that was for women. And then I don't just like the old LL commercial. You know, when he combed his daughter hair and he had her looking crazy.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be that.
Oh,
like I had a
there's
sister.
some dads out here that can comb. There's some dads like that can comb from here.
But
Though.
I'm saying, but that's the one thing that I never took time out to learn. Like the feeding them, the getting them bath, the changing pampers, I did all that. It was just that not combing their hair. But when their mother passed away when they was 15, like I say, I never took into account that they might need a female influence because I felt like they had their grandma.
The right female influence.
Right.
Yeah.
And and we don't like one of my daughters, we closer than me and the other one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she always felt like I showed my daughter favoritism. I'm like, it was never favoritism. I love y'all the same. I don't love one more than the other. It's just that we're closer because she called and talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
You
it's
choose not to call and talk.
Different connection.
Right.
Right.
So it's a different relationship, but it's no more love than the other. Like every time I talk to the one daughter that I talk to, I'm always asking about her sister. Your sister, all right? Your sister doing, you know what I mean? So it was no, but I never took it into the account that it might affect her. And because she always had this animosity with me, and I never could figure out why. I'm like, look,
did you ever ask her? Have you asked her to today?
We tried to talk, but when I talked to her, she'd be like, "Oh, I'm straight. I'm all right. Ain't that wrong? I'm all right."
Hard.
Right, and she probably get that from me. And I told her we're a lot alike. Like I always felt like the black sheep of my family. So I've always felt like the black sheep in my family.
Are you the middle kid?
Yes. Yeah.
Me too. I got the middle kid syndrome. That shit is real, isn't it?
Yeah. It is real. It is. But I never felt like I needed that affection because I never really got it. So I built up a wall that, you know what I mean, I'm cool. I'm good. You know what I mean? And I never let it affect how I felt about my family.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? I just felt like I never got it.
Felt.
And I felt like that's the part of me that she got. You know what I mean? So I mean, we tried to talk a couple of times. Like we getting better now.
Oh, good.
But I do know I can pretty much pinpoint when she got upset with me. Like when their mother passed away, I was in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
I had like 4 minutes before I had to do a show when she called me. And she was like, "Daddy, my mama just passed away." I was like, "Hey, baby, don't play with me." I said, "Hey, don't." I said, "Look, hey, this." She said, "No, Dad, I'm for real." So I was like, "Look, boo, I know this might sound crazy, and I know it sounds crazy every time I talk about it." I'm like, "Look, Lord. I know this might sound crazy, but I can't talk to you right now." I said, "But if you give me about 30 minutes, I got about 400 people out here waiting on me to come make them laugh. If I talk to you, it's going to break me down. I'm not going to be able to do my show. So if you give me about 30 minutes, I'll come back and I'll call you and we'll talk about it." Okay, so I went did my show, had one of the best shows I ever had, recorded it and everything. And I don't know what it is about trauma, but most comedians, when we go through some traumatic, we end up having our best show. Because my thing was, it don't matter what type day I have, as long as I come out and make other people laugh, I'm good. That's my therapy. So when we talked, I came back home, we talked or whatever, and what really what really set it off was I couldn't go to the funeral because that was my first big headlining show. These people have invested a whole lot of money in me. I couldn't cancel the show at the last minute, even though they probably would.
Was it a nighttime show? Was it a show? Was it a show at night?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I had to leave the day of the funeral to go out of town because I'm going out of town, and I wasn't thinking that might be the one excuse that I had that they probably would have forgave me to do, for doing the show, but I was like, I can't miss this show. These people don't invest a whole lot of money in me and all that. But the day before, I spent the day with them. And I'm thinking that, okay, if I'm with y'all the day before, y'all will understand that I can't be at the funeral. But
look, I'm not even your daughter. I'm feeling some kind of way.
Right. Yeah, that's why I say I feel crazy every time I tell people this story. But being young, like I tell people, we don't read a book about parenting.
We don't.
It all comes on the spot, you know what I mean? And it's all instinct. So I never thought that it would affect them as much as it did.
That one moment.
Right. And I think that's when she started really holding a grudge against me. And like I say, man, I spent the day before, I spent the whole day with them, you know what I mean? So I figured that would be enough because I wasn't big on funerals anyway. So I was like,
you had to go to that because that's that support that they needed from you. So that
was me being young, and I was a rebel. I had a lot of pent up shit in me from the way I felt like I was the black sheep. So, you know what I mean? And at the time, I really wasn't worried about it. You know what I mean? I felt like by me, like I've always been in their life. So I do think it was an easy transition because I was always there. Like if I'd have been an absentee father and then I'd have came and they like, well, look, your mama ain't here no more, and you gonna do what I say. No, but we always had a great relationship before then.
But you know something? I mean? So, the thing is crazy. People will always remember that one effed up thing you did, and they'll forget all the good, you know. And I know that. I know had you been where you are now, you would have made a different decision. You would have figured out something else. And to make sure that you were there to support your daughters and be there for them. Because I don't think it's just about the funeral. It's more like just you being there, being supportive. And like I said, it's just one of those little nuggets. But we can't just carry, like, it's like with me, even recently as of, what's this, 2022? In 2020, it was that last nugget that he deposited. I was like, you know what? I know that's my dad, and we put so much into titles. Like we'll say, "Oh, that's my friend, that's my mom, that's my sister." But a title doesn't entitle someone to treat you fucked up. It doesn't, and it doesn't allow you. It doesn't say, "Okay, I'm gonna keep giving you passes and keep giving you passes." So in 2020, I'm just gonna condense it. I got married, and the person I got married did some real messed up stuff, and my dad didn't even know him. My dad only met him twice, 2 times. You know me all your life. You know the kind of person I am from, and you listen to what this person had to tell you about me, which was not the truth. And you come back and tell me, oh, well, he said you did, blah, blah. But have you ever known me to do that? In all my 49 years, have you ever known me to be that person? And you don't even know that guy. So why would you take his word over mine? But then it came to, I'm going to tell you why he did that. Because they cut from the same cloth. The same person that he was is the person that my dad is. They're very similar. So of course, that's what you're gonna gravitate to. And then I'm like, how can I think it'd be any different? Because you've shown me your indifference before. So why would I think? I'm sorry. Why would I think anything different? So that was like, okay, that's it. And once I was like, okay, I'm done this time. Got some more therapy because I had to get therapy for that situation with the ex-husband. and with my dad, I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to get myself all the way together. And I just think that I just want for men and women to sit down and try to figure out, okay, why is it that I'm dating these type of people? Why am I angry, or why I'm not showing up for myself, or being the best person I can be, or doing the things that I really want to do in my life, because I got that one thing that I'm holding on to, that's holding me and setting me back. I'm talking about people have been through more traumatic stuff than me. I wouldn't say it's traumatic. I
Right.
just more hurtful and disappointing. But people have been through more traumatic situations than me, and they have figure how to get. I'm not saying gonna get over it, but get through it and get past it
Right.
enough to be the best person they can be. So why should we keep allowing ourselves to be held back and not be the best person and do what we need to do? I was so frustrated with myself for a long time. It's like there's so many things that I'm good at and I want to do, and I'm like I just couldn't seem to commit to that one thing. And I was like, what's holding me back and what's stopping me? And it was me not feeling like one, I didn't deserve to be that successful person and have the things and the life that I really want. And two, me feeling like, okay, um, is the person that I'm allowing to my space, or the people, are they going to be supportive? Are they going to show up for me? Things that really, those things that I didn't have a whole lot of control over, but that still was all in my thought process.
Right.
And I would overthink things and like self-sabotage myself, be honest with you, to be honest
Right.
with you, and not really be the best person I could be. So I started to like I said, I went to therapy again. I started to, like start to speak life and positivity into myself and start telling myself, okay, so you deserve to have a great life. You're a beautiful woman, you're smart, you're able to do A, B, C, D, and D, and you will be successful at it. I had to train start training myself to stop overthinking things so much that would hold me back from being the best person I could be. Because I couldn't keep saying, oh, because my mom and dad weren't there, I can't be who I'm supposed to be or be the best person I should be. I can't keep saying that.
Right.
I had to
Right.
get past that, figure it out, get myself together, and bring myself to a place where I know that I'm mentally healthy and I'm happy.
Right.
So, and even me, even though my relationship with my dad has ended and I really don't care to rekindle it, and I'm just being real with you,
Yeah.
I'm happier because I feel safe now. I feel
Right.
safe, and I mean, when I say safe, I mean I feel safe because now I know that I'm not gonna let this person come back into my life, and they can't deposit more damage.
Right.
And I
Right.
feel safe because I'm giving myself a safe space to be safe with me, and know that I can say no, and I won't allow certain people into my space. I won't allow that negative energy. I'm gonna succeed at the things that I want to succeed at, whether I get support or not. Because I remember one time I was going to school I used to be a dental assistant, and my dad stopped by my grandparents' house, and he was outside, and I was in I think my mid 30s then. I think it was. And I was like, oh, well, I'm in school now to be a dental assistant. He says to me, well, I hope you finish this because you don't finish everything else. I said, what have I never not finished that I've got up done?
Right.
You've never known me not to do something, not finish it. But that's the first thing you're going to, you get what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You don't have
Right.
nothing good to say.
Right. Like I don't understand how a parent can always be negative towards your child.
Because
You know what I mean?
you're not happy with he wasn't happy with
Right.
himself.
Right.
He
And
didn't
then
see,
the drinking don't help.
and the gambling, and it was a lot. It
Right.
was
Right.
abuse, all that stuff. It was a lot.
Right.
He was doing a lot. And I said, okay, so and that's nothing I had to figure. I said, okay, you're not happy with you, so you're gonna keep projecting this unhappiness on me, and I'm just sitting here absorbing it like, I'm not gonna keep
Right.
doing that. I'm not gonna keep doing that. So, and I've been reading this book. This book right here is called. Can you see that? I'm sorry. Wait. It's called. Yeah.
Jamie Grace finding
um,
my journey
Finding
to
Quiet.
peace.
This
Yeah.
book, right, Finding Quiet. Yeah, this book has helped me a lot. It really
Right.
has, because she was dealing with some of the same issues, and she figured out how to quiet all the negativity, how to start, exhibiting self love for herself, how to just sit with herself. Like I never sat by myself and just sat with myself because I didn't really know who I was. I was moving, raising kids, trying to be a great mom, a great wife, and all this. I never really sat with myself. And when I sat with myself, I was like, okay, so you got some stuff you need to work on. You need to fix some stuff. Right. And it was a hard pill to swallow because in my mind, I thought I was doing okay, but I wasn't. Right. I was all over the freaking place.
But I think a lot of Black people, especially, we view therapy as you crazy. You know what I mean? So we won't go get it. And I admit I probably need some too, because I've got a lot of, I think I got control of it to a certain extent, but I do know I have a lot of pent up anger. And then like with me, if you get on my bad side, I cut you all the way off, because I'm more scared of me and what I might do to you if you take me to that point. You know what I mean? So
you want to figure out why you're like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know me and my daughter probably need some too, because I can't get her to release and tell me what's really bothering her. But I can tell that sometimes she want to tell me, but she might not know how. And then for me, I've been a lot of people confidant for a long time. Like I can talk to everybody about their problems, but when it comes to me, my motto is I'm all right. I'm gonna be all right. And I know
you gotta be that soldier.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've always been strong for everybody else. But I also know that for me, like everybody always asks me how I deal with so much. Like when I lost both of my parents, both of my nephews, and my brother, I'm talking about in a short period of time. And everybody be like, man, I don't see how you do it. And I'd be like, I just have to have some peace. Long as I can get some peace and quiet and I can sit down and I can, like, I might be in an empty room and it's just total silence. But it gives me a chance to think.
We need that, though. We need that.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's how I deal with a lot. And like when my brother passed away, that was the first time I ever spoke at somebody's funeral. And that really helped me. Like if you think about it, I never shared any childhood pictures on Facebook or nothing until my brother passed away. When my brother passed away,
what was the reason that you did that then?
I don't know, but that helped me get through him passing away, because he was like I tell people, a lot of people that knew us growing up might have thought that we hated each other because we had that sibling rivalry, but I never hated him. I always looked up to him. Oh. But the relationship we had, I couldn't let him know it because he'd have rubbed it in my face. Oh my God. So I never would let him know it. But I understood him. He was the ultimate big brother. And he always wanted me to follow in his footsteps. But I was like, no, because I always had my own little crew. My whole elementary crew followed me to high school. I had to go to high school where he went because he was recruited for basketball. So, you know what I mean? I never would give him that satisfaction. And then once I found out that we were the same age for like a month and a half, I used to rub that in his face.
Wow.
Because his biggest thing was, oh, boy, I'm the oldest. I'll be like, yeah, but we the same age for a month and a half.
This one, right.
So I used to antagonize him a lot. And it's like he has some animosity. He wanted to fight me so bad. So I don't think he'd have hurt me, but I knew how I was when it came to fight. Like I don't know but one way to fight. That's to try to take you out. So I never wanted to fight my brother. And we was about to get into it one time, and my mama started crying.
Oh.
And I told him then, and I told my mama too. I said, Mama, let me tell you something. I know that boy crazy. I say, and if we ever get into it, you probably lose one of your sons, because he done had some kind of, I don't know if it was animosity or whatever, but I always felt like he had something against me. And that was my thing. Like, nah, because I know if we lock up, and I done seen him fight before, so I know how far he'll take it. Okay. So I'm gonna be on guard. I gotta match his crazy.
Right.
So I was like, you'll probably end up losing one of your sons. And she started crying, and I was like, boy, you better get out of my mama's house. But when he passed away, it helped me by sharing those childhood pictures, because he was always the person that I looked up to. And I ain't never looked up to nobody else except him. And I could never really let him know it. I mean, I looked up to my daddy too, but it was different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I looked at him as a dad, and like
right.
I had a conversation with him the last time I got a chance to talk to him. Like I went to see him that Friday night, and he passed away that Saturday morning.
Your brother or your dad?
My dad.
Okay.
So when I went and talked to him, I told him, I said, "Hey, Cat, this is a conversation that I think I need to have. Well, I know I need to have this conversation with you, and I think you need to hear it." And I was like, "Look, man, you always been a great provider. You ain't never been no alcoholic. You ain't never been no drug addict. You ain't never been in and out of jail. You always been a great provider. And for that, I appreciate it." I said, like, I know friends that haven't had their dad in their life, because I used to hear the stories all the time, but I could never say that. And I say, you don't know this, but for like the last 3 months before he passed away, I went to the country where we're from. We're from Monroe, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there and spent some time with his family, just so I could see how he was before I came around, before I was born. And they all said the same thing. When he went to the Navy, when he came home, he was the one that everybody straightened up for. Everybody got their shit in order when he straightened up. And I say, man, just that right there, because my dad had never had a problem with dying. Like, he used to joke about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't be sad if he's not sad. Right. At least I can't be sad around him.
Right.
And after we had that conversation, and see, I remember this conversation, and I knew I needed to have it that day, because when I went to see him, he was like, hey, Cat, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, because I woke up this morning and I could barely talk. And I was like, oh, shit, that don't sound good. So that's when I knew that I had to have that conversation with him. And when I broke it all the way down to him, and I told him, I say, man, whatever decisions I said, because we ain't gonna never want you to go to war, never. I said, but I also don't have to deal with the pain and suffering that you have to deal with to stay here with us.
Right.
And to me, I would be selfish to sit here and keep trying to get you to hold on, and you dealing with all the pain and suffering.
Right.
And he was like, hey man, just make sure you look out for your brother and your sister, man. Just make sure, because I think he knew that I was his strongest child by the way I carried myself. Even though he never,
the strongest child.
Right. And like I say, when I had that conversation, man, when I left out of there, I was crying like a big ass baby, and he was crying like a big baby too. So my stepmother, she came out there, she said, you all right? You all right? I was just like, I'm good. Go make sure he's straight. You know what I mean? I said, we just had a conversation that we needed to have. Because see, about 5 years before he passed, I started asking him some major questions about us growing up. Like, this is the first time I ever talked about this, but I since he gone, I can talk about this now. So I one day, like when him and my mama got divorced, my mama got pissed off with us because we chose to stay with our daddy, and my sister went with her. But at the time, I felt like, as far as I knew, she cheated first. So, but my aunt always told me, "Hey, boy, you just don't know the whole story. Your dad stepped out first and all that." So I went to him one day. I said, "Hey, Ken, I need to talk to you about something, man to man." And he was like, "What's that?" I say, "Now, when you and Ruby got divorced, Ruby always had this animosity with us because
you call your mama Ruby."
Yeah. I mean, me and my mom were cool, man. That's where my sense of humor. That's where my sense of humor, my attitude, everything came from. So I was like, Ruby always had some animosity with us because she felt like we did her wrong because we came to stay with you and didn't want to stay with her. I say, now, my aunt always told me, I always thought that Ruby cheated first. I say, but my aunt stayed on me and constantly told me that you cheated first. So I'm asking you, man to man, was you the one that started this, that cheated on her first? And he looked at me, and because he was in shock. He really was.
That's a deep conversation.
And he was like, I say this. Ain't nobody perfect, Cat. And that's all he would say. And I say, that's all I need to know. Okay. I say I'm not mad at you or nothing, because that was y'all situation. And I still love y'all the same. But you know what I mean? Like to me, she went to the hood. And I wasn't leaving Starline Drive where we grew up at to go to the hood. But I wasn't thinking that if I go there, she'll get more child support and we'll be in a better situation. My thinking was, okay, I'm not finna let him get scot-free and not have no responsibilities. Because I done heard about when the dad will leave the house. So, you know what I mean? So it was,
you like, he gonna take care of us.
Right, right. You know what I mean? So
do you think that, so would you, that's nothing about, relationships and how we deal with our relationships. So do you think that by you thinking that way, all those years, whether it be your mom or dad, does that have a bearing on how you date, or are you not dating or not being married? Like, because it has to be in your psyche for you just to have this conversation about it right now.
That's why I don't certain things you can't do in a relationship with me.
Yeah, but
like if
but at some point, do you think that? Do you think that like it's relax some of that? Like, now I'm not saying lower your standards, but I'm saying
I'm saying like I know it plays a role in the way I handle relationships.
Okay.
Like it's certain things that might not mean nothing to nobody else or might not mean as much, but yes.
Yeah.
Like cheating on me, it's automatic.
Well,
I'm gone.
I get that one right there. I get that one. But I'm saying, like, even just, sometimes we, it's like you say, oh, well, I met this girl, I met this guy, and they it's this one thing about them that I don't like, and I wish they would change it. But they're in their late 40s and 50s. You by that time you're gonna get what you're gonna get. It is what it is.
Right.
So with you, I'm asking you, is it something that you can like you say, you maybe discuss with somebody to figure out why you might, I'm not gonna use the word rigid, but maybe that might be a good word.
Yeah, I'm saying I know I'm hard to deal with.
Like why you're so rigid and why you can't. I mean, we have to bend a little bit, or we have to start telling ourselves a different narrative. Because if you keep telling yourself the same thing over and over again, you start to believe it, you start thinking, and that just it is what it is. So you have to start speaking yourself in a different narrative. And then, like, it's like you meet somebody and they do that one thing, you're like, I'm out.
But I also tell everybody that I date what I will and won't put up with.
Okay.
It's certain things I'm not.
Is it, how rigid is this list though?
I'm hard to deal with. I know that.
But see, but that's the thing.
I'm saying, I'm honestly, I'm saying, but I know me. I know I'm hard to deal with. I do know that.
So how can you fix that?
I mean, like, I probably need to go sit down and talk to somebody. Be honest.
Yeah, because if not, you're gonna be at. You'll meet a woman that might say, "Okay, I put up with it," but she might not be the ideal woman for you because she's probably putting up with it because she want to be with you and she want to be with a man. So if it's things like that, you need to like talk to somebody and figure out why you're like that, so you can get to that next level of what you want to be with a wife.
I admit I probably need to go sit down and talk to somebody, but like it's certain things I like. I'm gonna tell you, and what's crazy. I was dating this little girl from New Orleans one time, and she told me that I was too hard on her. So when I start easing up a little bit, first of all, I wasn't comfortable because now I'm letting you get away with certain things I don't believe in. And then next thing you know, she telling me, you know what? I wish you were like you used to be. I was like, hey man, this is why I don't. I
didn't say become a wet noodle.
No, never that. I'm just saying it was like certain things I don't feel like I ever been on. You know what I mean? Like it's like even in my comedy career, there's a lot of things that I wouldn't deal with that I probably could have let slid. But to me, like my morals and my values, they ain't gonna never change. I don't care what the situation is.
Your morals and values can be separate from how you handle your dating. No, sorry, no, can't. Your morals and values shouldn't be the only thing that dictate your dating life. Like it has to be something.
I'm saying, like I probably need some help. I'm telling you, I know I probably need some help. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm glad you admit to, because
I'm very honest about who I am.
I had to get myself all the way together, and I had a conversation with my dad too, because I asked him, because we went to sit down to eat, and I said, okay, can you tell me why you weren't available for me as a kid? Why you couldn't be there for me? Like, what was the reason? And it was his answer. And I'm not going to say it was the right answer. I'm not going to say the wrong answer. Maybe I didn't want to receive it, but it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
So he said, well, you know, I was in Vietnam. What Vietnam got to do with you not being a good dad?
Yeah, but they a lot of stuff that they went through, they have flashbacks. I'm not excusing
Oh
him.
yeah,
I'm
cause
just
he.
saying
Oh yeah, cause
they
he.
have
Oh yeah,
flashbacks.
yeah,
So
yeah. But okay.
I can see that.
Oh no, I can see you having PTSD, or I know like rain triggers him, so he have to take medication or whatever. But if you committed to gambling and you got your gambling buddies, y'all got to set up y'all stuff
Right.
a gambling.
But
You can't
it
be you
don't.
can't share the same commitment to
That's
your
not the
kid.
same. You
No.
can't compare that to raising your child. And hold on, Keisha, if you can come in here, this is the life coach that I was telling you about.
Okay.
If you can join in, let me know. I'll send you the link because I think she'll be good at this. This is what she do.
I think
And
so.
yeah, I'm like matter of fact, I'm just gonna send her the link and she can come in. She can come in.
Perfect.
But I do know that it's probably some things that I need to do, and I need to do with my daughter too. You know what I mean? So, and I ain't never talked about it so publicly because I always been a very private person.
Right.
So,
but sometimes we just have to be like we have to. I mean, you don't have to be totally loose lipped, but sometimes you have to be open. People have to see where you're open and relax enough to, you know, like you said, you'll talk to everybody else about that stuff. Because when I had my stuff going on, I called you and you were like, bam, you were right on it. But at the same time, I remember telling you, I was like, you know what, if you need me, just let me know, call me, whatever.
Right.
Now I'm good.
Like I can talk about it, but actually, like I don't know if I can handle somebody telling me that I'm wrong, even though I know I'm probably wrong. Because I've been stuck in my ways for 51 years.
But you can't.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not.
I'm not going to say that. I wasn't going to say it was right or wrong. I'm just saying stop telling yourself that narrative, because if you keep telling yourself that, that's what you're going to stick to. That's why I told you I had to sit and start training myself to start thinking differently. Like you, and it's not either. It's hard to sit down and find quiet and start telling yourself a different story. Because when people say, "Hey, tell me about yourself," I'm a mother. I have four kids. I work in home health care. It was four things I always say. And one time somebody said, "That's not who you are. That's what you do. Who are you?" And I'm like, "Who am I?"
Right.
I'm just being real. Who am I?
Yeah.
I had to figure that out. I had to figure out who I was, like what it is I like, what I don't like. You know, I remember one time this guy said, well, what do you have to bring to the table? And I was like, right now, I don't even know. I don't know. Because right now, I'm a mom raising kids. I don't have a hobby. I don't have anything particular I like to do. It's just so many things that I'm not saying I couldn't have been good to him in a relationship. It's like I really don't have whatever you want me to bring to the table right now. I don't have, because I don't even know who the freak I am. I'm trying to figure out who I am and how I need to move. So right now, I don't have anything to bring to the table. And he was like, "Really? Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth."
I mean, but I think I have it under control. Like when I catch myself, I'm saying when I feel myself going too hard, I do tone it down, and then I tell, like I'm first of all, I'm very honest about who I am. So I let them know, look, this is what I do. But at the same time, when somebody want to talk to me about something, I tell them this too. If I tell you to give me a minute, I'm not avoiding your conversation. But give me a minute, because I know my mouth is like my mama. My mouth can get real reckless. And if you keep pushing me, it's going to get reckless to get you off me. Mm-hmm. So when I say give me a minute, I'm not avoiding the conversation. I'm just making sure that what I say, it don't tear you down.
And that comes to people respecting other people's boundaries. Because when somebody say to you, "Hey, right now, it's not a good time to talk about it," because if we talk about it now, it's not going to come out the way it might come out tomorrow. So just give me a minute to just think about it. But some people think that, because I want it right now, I'm not going to respect your boundaries, respect you as a person. I'm going to make.
If you keep pushing me, you get it how it comes.
You're gonna get. You're right, and then that's me allowing somebody else to control me, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And Keisha, I sent the link, so if you can pop in. But yeah, I mean, like I know I know I might need some help. I don't really feel like I do, but I know that I
Negro,
probably
it's
do.
either you do or you don't. You
I'm
can't be
saying,
on the
I
fence
know,
about it.
honestly, I don't feel like I do, but at the same time, I know I probably do for other people. You know what I mean? Not for me, because
No, you need it for yourself.
no, I don't think I need it for me. Be honest with you, because I deal with so much, and I think I got control of.
That's why you need it for
like
yourself.
I'm not the person that'll ever explode because I know how to get away. Like when I need to get away and go have me a moment, I know how to get away and go have me a moment, and it ain't nothing you can do. You know what I mean?
But see, we're
at
not
the
talking
same
about a
time,
moment. We're not
no,
talking about a moment.
I'm saying to go get my thoughts together. You know what I mean?
But we're talking about.
Yeah,
It's not just about a moment. We're talking about stuff that you might haven't dealt with, or stuff that you need to talk to somebody about that you need to release.
I don't doubt I need to talk to somebody.
Okay,
even if it's just to get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm probably still gonna feel the same way I feel, even after they tell me. That's what I'm saying. Like I think I do what I need to do for me. Now it might be wrong. I'm not saying it's for everybody else, but I know what I need to do to keep me at an even keel. You know what I mean? And that's what I say. Like when I say give me a moment, hey man, give me a moment. Like even like I was talking about how I dealt with my brother. Like that was the first time I ever talked at somebody's funeral, and just me getting up there talking about us growing up and how he was in school. That really helped me.
That was one. Okay,
right.
That was there.
And I don't think nobody else could have brought that out of me or did something for me to make me feel better. So that's why I say I think I can handle me. Now I can't say it's good for nobody else. I can't say it's right, but I've been doing it so long. I think I can control me. You know what I mean? So but hey man, I don't. But I would love to go sit down and talk to somebody and.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, hey man. Like even this, like I've been so private for so long. Me even opening up like this, man. I don't do this.
But you're doing good. I'm proud of you.
Like I said, I probably need it, but I can. Like when I talk to people that I'm cool with or that I really know, it ain't hard for me to open up.
Yeah, but this is a different platform because there are multiple people hearing and understand, what you're saying. So you get an A+ for even just being open and transparent today.
Right.
Proud of you.
Hey man, it and look, Charles Harris called me today. Pete from Going High called me today, and we was talking. He was like, "Man, you and Ellis, y'all two of the strongest people I know because y'all know how to deal with a whole lot, man." And I'd be like, "Pimp, I ain't never." Ellis went to Going too, play football. You see him, you'll know. Yeah, you see him, you'll know. And I'm like, Pimp, I know how to deal with a lot, and everybody always asks me, they tell me that, but I don't see how you do it. But I have my certain ways to do it. And like I told him, even with death, like when I was a child, I learned that everybody is gonna leave here, even me. Mm-hmm. So when I learned that, I started making memories with everybody. Mm-hmm. So everybody that ever really been cool with me or came in contact with me, I guarantee you, they got a memory of me that I done did or said something, or we done did or said something. I guarantee you that they can sit there and trip off of it. Like even when something happened to me, I don't want you to have a funeral for me and y'all be sad. I ain't never been sad a day in my life. Shit, get together, kick it, have a barbecue, and sit around and kick it, man. You know what I mean? Sit around because I guarantee you, everybody can talk about something I done did or said.
And that's what you want. You want people to remember you in that type of light.
Right. Yeah. Don't ever be sad for me because I ain't never been sad a day in my life. I done dealt with a lot, but I ain't never been sad. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want nobody to be sad for me. And then when people like I actually want to do a show on losing your parents and losing your child and how it affects you. Like I really want to do a show about that. So
that'll
be one of my that'll be one of my next shows coming up.
Yeah, my mom, she passed away. And my grandma and grandpa all cancer.
Right. And see, I learned when my mama passed away when I was 44. And I learned then that that's the only real unconditional love you get. Everybody else love come with some kind of conditions to it. But your parents is the
Some
only.
moms and some dads, because some,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
Right.
some moms you get unconditional love. Some moms don't have that tool, and some dads don't have that tool, and it just it is what it is. But
Right,
sometimes
right.
you get that from people on that like friends and like my girl. I have my some longtime friends of mine. Their mom, she was like a second mom to me. She was awesome. She was just
Right,
awesome.
right.
I love that
Like
lady.
I don't think everybody is meant to be a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if your parental instincts don't kick in when you have a child, hey, you know you're not meant to be a
Who
parent.
y'all here fucking these kids up?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, lady.
How are you?
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Hey
think this is
Queen,
the
how
show
you
for
doing,
you right
Serena?
here.
how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Yes. I look, when y'all started talking about parenting, I had to get on.
Okay.
Right.
We're gonna hear your
Right.
perspective too.
Right.
Girl.
You don't I don't know how long you've been on here, but Shadow, we've been talking about some
Yes.
things today.
So
Okay.
what do you have? What do you think? What is your
So,
perspective?
well, I saw the prompt. Do parents influence children's relationships? And like
Right.
I said in the chat, we are our children's first teachers, right? So
Right.
when your daughter is grown and she's growing up and she's trying to figure out how a man is supposed to treat her, guess who she's looking at? The dad in the home. Also the mom, when she's trying to figure out how to be a woman, guess who she's looking at? The mom. You understand? So I think parents, and especially if children value their parents' opinions, then absolutely they influence it. And I can say that because the other day, Tim, I was telling you how my daughter has a list,
Right.
what have you.
Right.
These are
Right.
conversations that I have had with her because a lot of times, we want to get into these relationships and just want to be in love, but we don't ask the necessary questions.
We don't even know the question to ask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was that's what she was talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
we don't
exactly.
know.
So,
I was clueless. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so clueless. I didn't know. I was just like, he said he liked me. I like you too. Bam. Here we go.
Yes, and it's more to it. We don't think
Right,
about that, and it's time for us to start educating our children on those things. Like early on, I've been prepping my children on on how a man is supposed to treat you, not by my words, but by my actions. You understand? Even if my husband and I have a disagreement, we will not stay in the house and disagree. We literally will drive out just because we want our children to see that just because you're upset, that don't mean you have to, curse and da 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 da. You can handle it respectfully and away from them. Because a lot of times when we're fussing in the house and the children hear that, they remember those things, right?
Oh my God,
So,
vividly.
Exactly. So to avoid that, we have to have enough self-control to say, come on, let's go for a ride.
Right.
And we talk everything out. That's just how we run our home. Everybody is not like that. And then in terms of the list, no one told me when I had my first child. Of course, I was just happy that, to be honest, I was just happy somebody liked me. Okay, like let's just be honest, because I wasn't that girl. You understand?
Right.
So I was and I decided to have a kid, not realizing, okay, this man have a lot of health issues that runs in his family.
Didn't think about none of that.
They suffer from mental illness, like
diabetes.
Didn't think about any of those things. So, and with that knowledge, the older I got, I said, you know what? Oh no. I wish my mom would have showed me this or told me this. So that's why I'm breaking generational curses. I'm educating my children on everything. And one of the main things I tell my kids is when you get ready to be intimate with a man, okay, for the first time, okay, if he value, I tell my girls, before you have sex, ask that man to go get tested for all types of diseases, and you do the same. Because if he really cares about you and value you as a person and your body, guess what? He'll jump at the opportunity to do it. And if he doesn't, then that's an indication, yeah, he just trying to hit it and quit it. You understand what I'm saying? And even now I have a 30-year-old That's exactly what she does to this day. You understand? You got to understand what you carrying around. You
Yeah.
can't give that to everybody.
Right.
So it's like a long list. It's about 20 questions on that list for my daughters to ask their
I
significant
need this list.
Yes.
For real.
And that's real talk. And
Right.
they may lie or what have you, but that main question, are you willing to go get checked for me?
Right.
That says a lot about a
It
man,
shouldn't
and
be a
it's
conversation or
necessary.
anything. It's yes or no.
And it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I even have on the list, have you ever been molested, raped? Do you suffer from mental illness? Does mental illness run in your family? Like, I'm asking the hard questions. See, we be playing play with love. No, this thing is real. You understand? You got to get down to the nitty-gritty. I got to know who I'm dealing with, who I'm laying with, who I'm walking around with. I don't want to be on your arm and somebody say, hey, that's the man who hurt me. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing that. Tell me up front. Allow me to make an informed decision, and then we'll go from there.
Right.
So
and I know
parents do influence.
When it comes to sex, I'm probably the oldest player in the world that still use condoms. Because like I tell people, hey, I'm not putting my life in your hands. I don't know where you been and all that. And I remember the first AIDS test I took back in 1994.
Yeah.
And boy, I was in jail, and back then you had to wait 30 days before you got an answer. And I was like, 30 days, I was like, man, hold on, boy. I don't know if I remember everybody I slept with back then.
All right.
I was like, and boy, ever since then, boy, one girl called me the rubber opening champion.
Oh,
boy,
man.
And there's a lot of women couldn't believe that I was using condoms. I'm like, well, boo, I'm not studying you like that.
Right.
I'm not.
Well, what they are. Everybody is. If they're not.
No, they not. They not.
Yeah, you're right.
Women were actually shocked that I was.
Yeah.
Especially when I was on the road. Oh no. Hell no. Baby, I'm boy, I can't do it. I love me too much.
That's it.
And nah, you might give me something I can't get rid of.
Right.
You know what I mean? And nah, I don't care about you like that, y'all. On some real.
But you're right. Asking those hard questions. And I used to be that person that was like, you know how you don't want to hear someone say, oh, you feel like you don't want to offend them. That's what it is. You feel like
I don't care about
that. Yeah, I got over that because I told him, I was like, I used to be that person. You know how you walk away like, damn, I said yes, and I should have said no, or I allowed this to happen, and I know I should have said something. So now I'm like, no, I'm going to ask these questions. I want you to be able to communicate with me, and be able to answer. If I ask you something, let me be able to ask you the questions, and you answer the question, not be sugarcoating and pussyfooting around it. That let me know you got something, how something's going on.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And me, I'm blood testing every child I have. I don't. I feel like if you ain't did that, you ain't got nothing to get offended about.
Right. Exactly.
So, and I'm blood testing all mine because I had them, all of them, because I blood tested them twins.
But that shows you ain't trusting women who you were laying down with.
No, but I've seen a bunch of cases where a man think that the woman ain't never did nothing, and she gonna put on like she ain't never did nothing, and they find out 20 years later that ain't their child. Like, nah.
Y'all were in a relationship though at the time? Were you in a relationship with?
Nah, I've been single majority of my life, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So
we already discussed. He needs to talk to somebody.
Yes.
I'm saying I'm dating one person now. Yeah. I probably do need to talk to somebody, but
right. Hey, do you have trust issues?
Got to.
You sound like it.
Not really. Not really.
Yeah, that's a yes. That's a hard yes.
No, not really. No, my trust issues is with me. For real.
Why do you have trust issues? You don't trust yourself? Like what?
Nah.
Well, okay, I keep it real. You gonna stop trying to be hard, okay?
No, I'm just telling you who I am. I'm not lying to you. That's been me my whole life.
Tim, when you were talking,
like boo, I say this a lot too. Like I've always been the number 2 guy, so I know what people do in relationships, and it kind of tainted me on being monogamous because
Why you?
when I
Why
when I
That would be
traveled so
trust
much,
issues.
Right, because you allow yourself to be number two guy.
yeah, I'm saying, but I was cool with that
No,
because
you're
I
not.
seen. I promise you, I was because I seen what position that the number one man get put in.
Yeah, but now we
Like,
got you here in
let me-
2022 where you got trust
I'm
issues.
saying, no, I'm cool now. I'm dating one person now. I'm cool now. But when I was on the road, like I watched how women would lie to their husband that take care of them fully, 100%, and they'll lie to them to come kick it with me for the night or the weekend. So, and when I was on the road all the time, I was like, okay, if they'll do this when I just pop up in town and I'm constantly gone all the time, like it was a point of like 3 years where I seen Atlanta one day a week. So I'm not finna try to have a relationship when I know that they'll do this. Cause nah, and it might have tainted me. Like I know it's a couple of women that I probably
it did.
I told you I'm honest about who I am. Ooh,
right. Tim, you also said something about your how you were stuck in your ways and how and the first thing that came to mind is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But
I said that already.
You cannot if you're so close-minded when it comes to growth in relationships.
With the person that I'm with now, but with the person I'm with now, I have relaxed a lot. I really have. You know what I mean? I don't worry about her.
It doesn't empty that trash can that you've already filled.
I don't know if I want to empty. I don't know if I want to empty.
So basically you suppress it, okay, and it would be a good idea for you to talk to somebody because a lot of times
I know I probably need to talk to somebody. I know how to.
Right, because you may feel like you got it all together, you keep it all together, but even a life coach needs a life coach. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't just help people, I have somebody to help me. You understand? So
I mean, like I listen to a whole lot of people's problems, but I can deal with them. And people always ask me, well, how you talk to so many people and it don't bother you? I'll be like, because their problems ain't my problem. Right. I don't look at their problems as being my problem. So it's cool for me to talk to them, but yeah, I know. I probably need to sit down and
you
lay
gotta
on somebody.
focus on your own problem, take care of your own stuff. You gotta do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like I'm all right, boo. I told you, I feel like I'm good. But like I say, I do know that I probably need to go stretch out on somebody's couch for probably a whole weekend and just talk about all the stuff I done seen.
The weekend is just a consultation, okay?
I'm just saying my first visit might be the whole weekend. That's what I'm saying.
That's an icebreaker.
Right.
Hey. But I done seen, been through a lot, man. So and
well, I know I need help, and I'm like I will go back to a therapist in a heartbeat because I'm like I constantly need to work on myself and put myself together because I know I struggle in areas, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I know maybe about 3 weeks ago, I'm like, okay, so what's going on with you? Like, why you can't seem to get yourself together? Why you feeling the way you feel? And I was telling you earlier, like, there's so many things I want to do, but I feel like I'm stuck. I'm like, how do I get unstuck? And get to where I need to be because I know I can do it. It's like it's something, and I think for me, it was that experience I went through with that last marriage because that ending part was really traumatic, and and then the things that followed after that took a lot from me. So I haven't felt like the Serina before then, where I would just get up and go and hit it, and like, okay, if it don't work, at least I tried it. But now I'm like, I'm stuck, and I'm telling myself this narrative like, well, can you do it? And if you do it, will it work? Or just telling myself all this stuff. So I have to sit with myself and say, you know what's really I have to talk to myself, be quiet, and tell myself, you can do it. You can do it. Like, press go, push forward, move through it. But it's still not easy. But I'm trying to work through it.
Well, if you find that you are stuck, Serina, reach out to me. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I said to myself, I said, God, I need somebody to mentor me. I don't care if I got to pay for it, don't matter. I need someone to mentor me because I need someone to
need support. You need somebody who's going to be in your corner, encouraging you, motivating you, you know what I mean? That's what I like about life coaches because they put action plans together to help you push forward, to
Okay.
focus on your future, to focus on what's next, and create a plan for you to accomplish those goals and those tasks. So that might be something that
I know that's something I need, and I thank God for this day, for
Yeah.
right this moment. Like everything happens in its time and place, and
right.
like right now, it's like God heard me. I need what I need, and that's what I need. So I
Yeah.
will be reaching out to you to get
Yes. I just happened to be on it and heard y'all. I saw parenting.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I told you, as soon as I seen your name, I was like, Shawty, you might need to be up here for
I
this.
appreciate it. Shoot, I need it. I need it.
And that's Serina that was gonna come on again when we were supposed to be. Well, she was on Dating at 50, and you were supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And she went to Garden too. Keisha went to Garden too.
Oh, I went
both
to
of y'all went
Garden
to
8th grade though. Yeah.
Okay.
But
you're a couple of years up under us, so.
Oh, okay. Yep. So yeah, this is a good conversation. I tell you.
Yeah.
Hey
Really
man, we can do this whatever day. Well, you know, me and Keisha's is on every Monday at 4:00. Serina, you want a time slot where we can talk. Hey man, I'm open for it. I'm game.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make sure that when we talk and we have like structure, it don't have to be structured because of course it's gonna but at least have good content. So when we walk away from, we someone can say, you know what, I got something out of that podcast that helped me to renew or be we just want to give out good information to help somebody.
Right. I mean, well, we can call and politic and get the lineups together and all. I'm game. So like I love these real conversations. So it don't bother me at all.
Yeah, you're right. And you should also think about too. Let's talk about mental illness, and you know what I mean, especially in our community.
Yes.
Because like I did my dissertation on low-income African American men's non-religious coping strategies for stress. Right, that's a mouthful. I know. Because everything, 85% of African Americans seek what for stress? Prayer, God, the church. That's the first thing we go to. That's the first thing we go to, right?
Yeah, weed has helped me for a long time.
That's right. Or that. Oh, right.
Okay.
So
it's prayer and okay, gotcha.
So with that though, that's 85% of African Americans now, but there is 15% who do not believe in God or don't seek religion, right? So when I was interviewing these men, and it goes back to parenting, but when I was interviewing these men and asking them about stress and where they think the source of their stress came from, what do you think they said?
Family, mom, dad,
their mom.
Yeah,
the mom. So when you talk about
I've seen it.
I mean, completely. Whether it's them feeling like their mom abandoned them, putting the boyfriend in front of them, their mom dying, having to be raised by the grandma, whatever it is, it stemmed from the relationship or lack thereof that they had with their parent. So what happened as they got older? They began to resent women. They began to abuse women. These men I interviewed now live in a homeless shelter. They could not get over their mommy issues, and it led them down a wrong path. And most of these men who I interviewed, again, they were in homeless shelters, but they all had degrees, college degrees. They were.
I believe that. I believe you.
So when you talk about,
I believe that.
Hold on. Chloe says she watching us, but she in Facebook jail for 2 days.
What she do?
I don't know. She said this about 40 minutes ago.
Got it. I love it. So yeah, but when you talk about parenting and the influence that parents have on dating, parents do play a part. Because if they see 9 times out of 10, if you're a male and you see your mom getting beat on or what have you, usually you're going to pick up some of those same habits because of what you have seen, because that is your example. So definitely parents have a big part, in really how children, how they live, how they think, you know what I mean? What they do, all of that.
And now we get to the part, now we're adults and we got to figure out, like we said earlier, we got to figure out how to maneuver through this and become the better person.
Exactly. Exactly.
When I had my kids, I was like, I can't not be there for my kids. I have to be.
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, when I look back at it, it could have been some times I'm sure there were times if I speak to my kids that I could have been more present, because I'm sure some of that showed up in some form of fashion. But my thing was keeping a stable home, working, being supportive, getting a home and putting in a good school, taking vacations, just trying to be there, doing better than what I saw.
Right. Yeah.
And I do think the destruction of the family structure plays a big role. Because when a father not in the house and women trying to raise boys and
all of that,
I know that plays a major role.
Yeah, we were just talking about, because we're not big on Valentine's Day, none of the holidays really, you know what I mean, unless it's Kwanzaa. But we were just talking, and I had to tell my husband, because we normally don't get our girls or our son anything for Valentine's Day, right? But the last couple of years, we've been doing better, particularly my husband, because I tell him when you talk about parenting again, I'm like, if our girls don't have Valentine's, they need to know at least that they are loved, if not by another man, by you. You are their dad. You are their example. You set that standard for them. So when they see you showering them with gifts out of love because you love them, that's what they're gonna grow to expect from others, because you have set that example.
That standard,
so for the past couple of years, I make sure, even if he don't go by it, I get the stuff and put his name on, you know what I mean? Because he works or what have you, and it comes from him. And the last couple of years we've been doing that. Now they look forward to it because they know they're getting something from daddy to affirm his love. You know what I mean? Even though he tells them all the time to affirm it in like their love language, you know what I mean? Gifts or what have you. So, I think it's so important that if the man is in the home, that we have to make sure, and the woman, we have to make sure we're setting that example for them and not get so caught up into I'm working, I'm trying to provide. Your job is to parent. That's the number one job is to parent when you have kids. Yes, it's about making sure your bills are paid, but this, like I said yesterday, the same 8 hours that you give your job,
you give them to your kids.
You got to give it to your child, your children. You have to.
And I think we need to start having family dinners. If not every day, at least once or twice a week.
Put the phone down.
Family time, like all us watch a movie together or something. Like
yes, it's necessary. That's a great time for you to. So our family time is typically at 6 o'clock. Before the kids started going into sports, we made sure every day we sitting down as a family eating at 6 o'clock. We talking about our day, what's next, and all of that. And I've learned so much about my kids from that experience. Like I had no idea my son cursed. Okay. When
you get into that it started before teenagers. You don't cuss when your mama them ain't around. So.
You start to figure things out about you. Like, I didn't know that about you.
But then my thing always be, well, you was a child, you was that age at one time, so you know what you did. Like it ain't nothing new that they're doing. It's just more wide open now.
They're more wide open. But he was, when I asked him, he didn't try to deny it. He was honest. He was like, yeah, mommy, I already told you about that. I said, you did? Refresh my memory, because I forgot. You understand? And he was like, okay, well, you told me, because I told him, this is what he said I told him. And it sounded like I told him this. But he was like, I told him, well, if you curse, just don't do it around adults. Don't be calling women out of their name. Don't just be using the words just to use the words. Because really a person curses because they don't know how to communicate. You can say everything you need to say without that cuss word. So he understood that. But I'm glad those family times, those dinner times when we sit down and talk to each other, I was able to really hear and see. And another thing that made me be aware is he had this audition for a movie, and the movie he had the curse in it. And when I'm recording him, y'all, I mean, it sounded like he was a professional cursor.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes,
Of course.
and that's why I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds way too easy for you, buddy.
You've been doing this.
He glad he got a chance to do it in front of you.
He glad he got right. And guess what? A great note about it, he ended up getting the role, so he's going to be in a movie called Creed 3. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it worked for him.
Yeah.
It worked for him, but just don't curse around me.
Right. You're not having a curse.
You gotta have that. You gotta, like, my mama always told me, like, honestly, my mama stopped trying to tell me what to do when I was about 13. Right. She was like, boy, you gonna do what you want to do anyway. But her method was, boy, whatever, I'd rather you do whatever you're gonna do at home instead of doing it behind these schools and all that, and you get yourself killed and all that. But at the time, I still had so much respect for her that it's still certain things I'm not finna do in front of her anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My grandma died, and I was in my third. I was not about to curse in front of my grandparents and my mom.
Right.
That's not happening.
Yes.
That was a word before I said, Mom, she said, she.
Yep. Look, I'll even go as far as to say my daughter is 29 and she will not drink alcohol in front of me. Like it's just, and I don't want her to, because I feel like we're in this thing where parents try to be their friends.
Oh, no, I don't care nothing about that.
Man, no, we are always. I'm always gonna be on this level. You always gonna be down here. Just so when you start doing things like that, smoking with your kids, drinking with your kids, they gonna feel like they can, even cursing around your kids. They gonna feel like they are on the same level as you, and then. What my grandmama always used to say, you play with a puppy, he'll lick you in your mouth. Exactly. That's exactly what they will end up doing, because they think they're your friend.
No, you still have to keep that standard as a parent. Say something you just not about you. I know we're in a group. My kids now were in a group chat. And I guess my twins forgot they were in a group chat. They were having conversations with each other. Oh, I lost it. I don't know. Right. Me. So first of all, you don't talk to her like that because that's your sister. And the second, you're gonna respect me at no ends. As I said, so now I see what y'all got going on, but you're not gonna include me in it. I said you will never be disrespectful, and you don't talk to each other like that. I just did not. Like it. I don't. You know, we're gonna talk to each other with respect. And you're not using those words like.
Exactly. Yeah.
That pissed me off.
That's right. Yeah. And look, Tim, back to parenting. That's why my daughter is single now, because she hasn't met a man that meets her standards based on the example that she was shown as she was growing up. So she knows not to settle. So she was like, she'll be single. Because I know what it looks like. I know what a healthy relationship looks like. I know what love looks like. I know how a man is supposed to treat a woman. And like I remember on another podcast that you had, I was like, I had 5 requirements. You ain't meet those requirements, it's a wrap. Same thing with her. If you ain't meeting my standards, I'm not finna lower mine for you. It's not happening. It's not
having a conversation.
Right, and people got to understand and be cool with being single until you find what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
You gotta like yourself, and then on the other podcast we were talking about someone can't make you happy. That happiness shows you before you even enter that relationship.
Absolutely.
They add to it. They add to you happy, but they can't make you happy.
Absolutely.
You gotta be happy, and if you jacked up. You expecting this guy to come in and be Captain Save You. He can't save you. You got to save yourself.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. So true.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we done gave him an hour and a half, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Great conversation. Yeah. Well, we're not gonna hold everybody. Again, Miss Serina, what you got going on? You got a business or something that you wanna promote or something?
Well, no. Right now, I'm in school. I don't want to tell it yet because it's going to come out soon. I'm in school, so I'll be doing something totally different soon. So y'all look for that. But I'm going to make sure I call Dr. Williams.
Yes,
man. And Keisha, give out all your information again. I know you just did it last night, but
absolutely, it's totally okay. You can reach me at KeishasWilliams.com. That's KESHIUS Williams.com. If you are in need of a life coach or just want a free consultation, I am here for you. If you have any children and adults looking to purchase books, children's books, just go to my website. I have a wealth of books for you guys, as well as is a self-help book called My Purpose Journey. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Keisha's Williams or Dr. K, the Life Coach. Follow me on all social media platforms, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Thank you. It was great seeing you.
Yes,
And,
you
you
too.
know,
Also, you guys, I like to
Go
say, go to Amazon. My daughter Jalen, JC Jackson, Jalen, she's on social I'm sorry, Instagram and Facebook. She has a book on Amazon. It's called For My Colored Boys. It's a book of,
you got to promote that.
my inspiration. It's a book of poems for minority boys.
Yes.
Kind of give them an idea, like, you know, you're good enough. Like, you know, it's just poems to kind of uplift them and encourage them
Right.
as being young black males. So it's on Amazon. The book is like $10.
Okay.
It's called For My Color Boys by JC Jackson.
Love it.
And tell her I would love to interview her about.
Oh, she's really
book.
good. I'll tell her.
I can
really
imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Thank you.
And then, you know, I'll tag both of y'all so then y'all can reach out to each other. I'll tag both of y'all on the video so
Thank
y'all
you.
can reach out to each other and everything. And y'all know my saying, man, y'all be easy.
Be easy.
Thank you. Thank
We'll
you,
see
Dr.
y'all
Williams.
next time.
You're welcome. Thank you, Queen.
Bye,
All right,
y'all.
baby.